Hi loves, it's Lacey and welcome to our space. Today we are going to be doing some Target dollar spot DIYs. Starting off with this little black tray. It's about 15 inches long. I picked that up for $5 along with these florals from Target. These here that I'm showing you that have more of the orangey color came from Hobby Lobby, and then these leaves came from a Dollar Tree. I basically just went through my stash and picked out other things to go with this. So the candle holders, the tea lights, and the pumpkins are from a Dollar Tree. So first of all, what we're doing here is we are just going to go ahead and glue down these candle holders. I just used a dab of hot glue. They'll come right out. I didn't even take the papers off the bottom, as you can see. Then I'm going to cut off a bunch of these green leaves. I really liked these. My mother picked them up for me from Dollar General. I like the fact that they have a little kind of rustic coloring to it, not just green. They're variegated with a little bit of white and like the coral that's in the candle holders, the votive holders that I put down. So I'm just going to glue some individual ones around this holder. I have a couple of them that have two still on the stem where I just pulled them off, and I'm going to glue those down as well. I also have the ones that look like they're kind of beigey and coral, kind of off-whitey. I didn't have very many of those left, but I think they'll add a nice touch here to put in some more color that goes along with the votive holders. And I'm going to just put those four around so they're, you know, not really close to the other ones, and fill this in. Because then after that, we are going to be adding in our velvet pumpkins from a Dollar Tree. I have these. They are actually on clips, and I'm just pulling the clips completely out. It doesn't take much. I'm going to save the clips for future projects just in case. And then I like to dry fit everything on here to make sure it's how I like it. Like the leaves were easy because I knew I'm going to fill it in all the way around, but I want to know where the pumpkins are going to go. So I have the green ones that are really nice, and I have the orange ones, and I had an extra set of orange ones, so I decided to go ahead and put some paint on those. I'm using the Arteza gold paint. I probably could have used fabric paint and they'd come out a little bit better, but I like how they look, and my mother has already claimed this DIY, so she likes how they look too. You don't have to paint them. I do believe the velvet ones come in other colors too, but these are the only colors that I had. So once I get them all dry fitted to kind of where I like them, I put two on each side in the middle and then one on the ends. I'm going to put the rest of my leaves in and tuck them in exactly where I want them. And it looks like it has some empty spaces, but I actually go back and cut some more of the leaves. And then I'm going to glue down some of the pumpkins as well. Now I'm taking these pieces that came from Hobby Lobby. I think they were about $4 and 40% off. I actually have mine left from my stash from last year where they were on clearance. And I'm just going to tuck some of those in where I like them. This is all personal preference on how you want yours to look. I cut off some of these little spiky balls that I got from Target's Dollar Spot too, and I am going to be tucking some of those in. I just want it to look nice and full and variegated. Then I also have like some fall eucalyptus that came from Hobby Lobby, and I think those were $2.99, 40% off. So again, I got mine last year when things were 90% off. And so I'm going to pull off some of those stems in the different colors and tuck them in to hide some of the empty spots and just to give this a nice full look. This DIY is so easy. You can use anything that you have in your stash. I turn this around and I tuck things in until I like what it looks like, and then it is just done. I add in some LED little tea lights. I didn't have the votive ones from Dollar Tree, but you can put real candles in here because these are real candle holders, and I think it would be fine. And this is how it turned out. I really like it. I love all the colors. It is low profile. It makes for a really nice fall centerpiece on a smaller table. The little black tray that I got from Target's Dollar Spot was $5, and it is 15 inches long, and it holds all of this really nicely, and it's not too heavy. So now let's move on to DIY number 2. For DIY number 2, I have this plaque from Dollar Tree, actually from Target's Dollar Spot, and it has a little leather strap on the top. It's a little damaged, but That's okay because we're going to cover it up. I also have this pick that came from Hobby Lobby. I don't remember how much it was. I know I showed you guys the tag. It couldn't have been more than like $7.99, but it was 40% off now. I did get mine last year when they had the big sale. And then I'm using these little letters that I got from a store here in Michigan called Debbie's Dollar Store. I really like them because they're very thick and they're wooden. However, I wanted to spell out the word fall, but I didn't have an F, so I just took an E and cut off the bottom and made an F. Now I'm taking some Waverly antique wax and I am going to cover them up. As you can see, I put on gloves because the way these letters are, it's really hard to get them without getting it all over your hands. And so I'm just putting it all on and then wiping it off with a wet wipe so it looks like a stain. And I'm just going to set that aside to dry for a half a second while we work on the rest of this. So this is a super simple DIY too. I wanted to bring you guys very simple ones. I'm cutting off the excess stem on this with some wire cutters, and then I'm going to hot glue it so it doesn't fall apart and glue it down to the bottom of this plaque. I really think this turned out really well to be able to just use one pick, and then I'm going to take the letters and spell out fall. I have an F, an A, and two L's, as you can see. And I'm going to have them actually ascend or descend down the plaque. So then it looks like fall is actually falling. I just came up with this at the end here because at first I was just going to have them go across, but how the pick laid for me really nicely, this works out really well. I'm just putting hot glue on the longest side of the letter, like down the long thick part of the F and of the A, and then both L's, and this sticks really perfectly. If you're new to my channel, you should know I always use Gorilla glue sticks in my Ryobi super duper battery operated glue gun, and this DIY is done. Look at the impact on this. Now the coloring on this, because of my lighting coming in, is off. The color that you saw before is basically the color it is. It doesn't have gray tones. It has more of a brown and tan tone, and I love it. So now we're going on to DIY number 3 and 4. I say both because it is this double pack of risers that came from Target. I'm going to be using some Waverly chalk paint and ink, and then this little decor from Dollar Tree. They're like little, almost like coasters, but they're too small to be coasters, but they're DIY decors. Now these are 2 different sizes, and the legs on the smaller one are longer than on the bigger one, but we're going to do 2 DIYs with this. So I'm starting off with painting the back of the leaves that were in these packs. So I have more than one pack. I needed 8 leaves for this all together. I did not like how it's kind of like MDF wood looked on the back when I started to think out this project. So I actually am painting them black, and I used the little finger protectors, if you saw, so I didn't get paint all over my nails. Then I decided, hey, this is the actual bigger one. I'm taking some buffalo check ribbon from Dollar Tree, or you could say it's gingham. It doesn't say gingham on this one, and I'm wrapping it around the bottom of the legs. I was going to paint the legs black, but then I thought, hey, if I do it this way, and I don't want to keep this project this way and use the risers for something else, I can just take off the ribbon. Now I'm making sure I have the ribbon facing on the inside where it connected, so then you won't see it on the sides. And a matter of fact, this has such a low profile that you probably won't see it at all unless you put it up somewhere high. So I am basically just using my silicone spatula from Dollar Tree to push the glue down into this thin ribbon so I don't burn my fingers. I do this on my channel a lot. This is great because this thing only cost $1 when I got it, and it's $1.25 now at Dollar Tree, and it really saves your fingers. So I do that to all 4, and see, it looks pretty cool, though it's such a low profile you'll never see it. So now I'm going to take my leaves and I'm going to glue them to the side of this, and how I do it is I turn it up to the side so I get the glue right on the side of the riser, then I set it down and then hold this all the way down to the ground and lift it up slightly and push it on the side. Now when I first started doing this, I realized I have 8 of them. 8 of them go around, but if you put them completely next to each other like this, you will have a huge gap. So I pulled those off, even though I'm showing you how to do it again, and I started over and left a little space in between each one. And this is what it looks like. This is a perfect little tray to sit anywhere You can put decals in it and stuff like that on the bottom of it, but you don't have to. And if you can't find those, Dollar Tree has these signs. They say home and hello and stuff on them. They're the same size. You could use this, turn it over, and not even have to take the home part off of it, and glue these to the side, and it will work just as well. For the feet, you just get a large dowel and cut it down into 4 pieces and do it. Or you could get like Jenga blocks from Dollar Tree and paint them. So this is what it looks like when I just put some decor in there, and it looks really full. And I like the fact that I made the insides black, then you don't see that lighter color. But you can also put a Dollar Tree candlestick in there. And then I have this Dollar Tree mirror. It's one of the newer ones. It's kind of small. And I decided to turn it over to have the profile of the black on the side. And we're going to take off the plastic. And then you have like an indentation in there, so things won't fall out. You could glue it down to the candlestick if you want, but I just used some more of those leaves, a little eucalyptus that I already had in like a little wreath, and put a Dollar Tree candle that I had from last year on it, and it looks great. So now this is DIY number 4, and I put these together in our DIYs because it's the same thing. I just use now the smaller one. I have one of the Dollar Tree rub-on transfers that they had for fall this year. This one says pumpkin spice and everything nice, and it has some little pumpkins and stuff on it. I got it on there slightly crooked, unfortunately, so be careful with this. And it does take a lot to put it on because this riser is texture. If you use the Dollar Tree ones and make your own riser, it's not textured. Then I have a ton of this fall confetti. Mine came with red and copper and gold pieces. I didn't want any of the red pieces. I'm using the gold and copper pieces, and it comes in pumpkins and oak leaves and some maple leaves. So I just decided to glue these all the way around. Now, if you're going to be using this somewhere that it's going to be touched a lot, I suggested you use a stronger glue like E6000 or some kind of craft glue that's heavy duty. I am using Gorilla Glue sticks in my glue gun, and I'm sticking them on. And I'm variegating the colors. So it's copper and gold. So it worked out perfectly that my pattern started with a pumpkin of one color and put another, the other color, like I started with, we'll start this over. I started with like the copper and then put the leaf on in the gold, then the next leaf in the copper, and it worked out all the way around. I loved it. Then I looked in my stash and realized I had pumpkin ribbon that was the length of these legs pretty much. And I am going to cut off pieces just like I did with the gingham and cover them. I was going to paint the bottoms, but the color really didn't match the stuff that I already have. So I thought this was a great fix. And it's easy because then you can take them off if you change your mind. And this is what it looks like when you put one on. And so all I did is finish it and put the other ones on. And I am setting this by my coffee bar. It works for a great little riser there, and it has a fall theme, and all of my things that I normally keep over there work perfectly. So that is it for this video. Comment down below, what was your favorite project that I did? They all were super easy. I thought I'd bring you some super easy Target Dollar Spot DIYs. If you'd like to see some more from Target's Dollar Spot, I just picked up a couple other things. Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you are not a subscriber here at Lacee Space, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hang out with us for a while, because we have a lot of fun here, and I make a lot of different things here. And even though I've been gone again for a while, I am back. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I had a knee injury, and finally that is getting worked on, and so I'm back to doing DIYs. This right here, I think, is my favorite project with the fall sign. It was so simple and quick to do, but I really like the impact of it. And like I said, the coloring's a little off. It's more of browns and tans instead of gray looking, and I love it. But I also love all of the projects. I love this little tray. These little leaves that are on here, they look perfect, and I think I'm going to put this in my kitchen as well. I think it's just great. I have black and white in my kitchen every year, so I think it works out really well for that. If you're going to be touching this a lot too, I would suggest that you use like E6000 glue on the bottom too. The Gorilla Hot Glue keeps it on there really well and works even with me painting the backs, but a lot of handling of these things, they might come off. So that is it. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye, loves.